Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our onboarding webinar today. I'm so excited to be here. And today we'll be going over some of the most common questions that people are asking. I'm BQool. I'm the brand evangelist for BQool, and I'm the host of the YouTube channel and the podcast channels. We created this onboarding training for you because we care about you. It's not only about subscribing to your software, it's about using the tools that you've invested in to maximize your returns and maximize your profits. The content we're sharing today are all generated from actual user questions. I had to learn the software from the ground up just like you. So if I can do it, I know that you can do it as well. So right now, I want you to turn off all of your windows and just open up your BQool software so you can follow along the onboarding training today, because that's what you're here for. And we'll go into the next slides to give you an overview of what we'll be covering today. We'll be covering 4 different modules. So in the first module, we'll quickly go through what the Amazon Repricer is, what's the purpose of it. And then we'll go into, how to set up your first listing. How do you prevent yourself from getting delisted? And also some of the most popular general settings that our users use. Then we'll cover some of the bulk setup to save you time so that you can easily reprice a lot of your listings all at once. And then we're going to go into how to select different rules. And we'll compare the difference between rule-based and also the AI repricer. And then finally, we're going to end with the business reports to tell you what you should do on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and on a monthly basis. So are you all with me? Yeah, are you all with me? We're going to get right into the training. What is an Amazon Repricer, right? Well, Amazon Repricer, simply it's a tool Amazon sellers like you changes price on their behalf. It automates the repricing. The seller, you would set a minimum and a max and also a rule. And it has those different safeguards to protect your profits. The price will then fluctuate between the 2 limits according to the rules that you have set before. So it really depends on what you want to do. You could either have more sales or you could have higher per unit profits. So it's about finding the right balance to maximize the total amount of net profits that you're earning. And here's the buy box. So on the Amazon page, on the right-hand side, you're going to see a buy box. This is for the desktop view. And in the mobile view, it's going to be more in the middle. It's definitely whoever owns the buy box will get 80 to 85% of the sales. So if you hold the buy box, you'll get sales. If you get sales, then you get profits. So getting the buy box is our goal of using the repricer. Now, there's all these different factors about how to win the buy box. It's whether you have a professional account, maybe the selling price you have, also your fulfillment method, and also the sales volume you have, your feedback. There's so many different factors, and no one really knows the Amazon algorithm for getting the buy box. But we've cracked the code for you. We've cracked the code. We know what is prioritized higher based on all the data we've collected from our 10 years of repricing. So we know that the fulfillment method is absolutely crucial, whether you're FBA or FBM or Seller Fulfillment Prime, also the selling price and also the shipping time. So by using our repricing software, we have some strategies that we could provide you based on all the data we've collected. Now let's go into the training here. So when you first get started with BQool, after you've connected to MWS, you're going to see a dashboard, and you could actually add different gadgets on there. And then I'm just going to show you by sharing the screen with you. Now, if you look on the screen, you're going to see the dashboard, just like when you first log in. On the right-hand side, you're going to see a odometer-looking thing that says usage. And this will show you the number of listings that you've downloaded already, that downloads from Amazon Seller Central, and then also the number of listings that you have subscribed, whether that's for rule-based or for AI. And then here it's going to tell you how many of those listings have been enabled. So this gives you an overview of how many listings you have, how many is enabled, and then we can move on to the help button here. There's a help button, and then this is where we suggest you to start. There's a getting started with Repricing Central. You can click on the progress bar, and it's going to bring you to this progress, getting started with Repricing Central, and it'll tell you the different steps that you need to do. So whether you need to set up the Amazon connection first, and then you can start repricing. You add a repricing rule. You set the min and max, and also individually, or you could do it in bulk as well. And there's a learn more button there. So there's a bright orange learn more button that you can click on to get more information. And we also provide you some strategies based on our experience. And then if you move back up, go back to the help button, you'll also see a place where you could search the knowledge base. So this is all the support site you have. And when you click on that, it brings you to the support page where you can find all of these different articles about the feature settings, also advanced topics, and also frequently asked questions as well. So it's a great resource for you to use. And then there's a video tutorials on the YouTube page that you can follow. So if you click on that, it would bring you to our YouTube channel. And we have categorized these for you. And this will give you a repricing 101. It gives you some tips and different knowledge base as well. And then finally, there's a chat with support. So within the software, you click chat with support, you could actually contact our support team directly. So just to summarize, these are the different support options that we provide you. And we also have a Facebook group that you can join to get more help and support as well. So our recommendation is if you have a specific problem or specific issue, a specific challenge, you can take a screenshot and you can send that to our support at BQool. We also offer the live chat from Pacific time, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So we have also a live chat. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. So there's 4 steps to successfully reprice. First, you need to connect the MWS. That's connecting our API with the Amazon API. It's very easy to do. And then you got to integrate your cost and then set mins and max and have a repricing rule. So for example, you have a LG TV that you found in Walmart for $399 US, and then you want to sell the minimum price that makes it worthwhile for you is $500. The max price might be $900, and then you want to set a rule for you to adjust the prices based on that rule. So first, you're going to get an email to activate your account, and then you can click on the email and you can connect to the MWS. The MWS is an integrated web service API that helps Amazon sellers to programmatically exchange data on the listings, on the prices, reports, and much more. So the data integration with Amazon enables a high level of selling automation, which can help you grow your business. So once you've set that up, it would take you about 4 to 8 hours to sync all the data from Seller Central to BQool. So it really depends how many ASINs you have. If it's over 24 hours, please let our support know, and our support will get back to you. And then, so if you look on my screen right now, this has pulled in all of the different listings I have on Amazon. And this is what you will see as well. And the repricing will be paused for them at that time. So you need to set a min price, you need to set a max price, and then you need to pick a rule. And then once you do that, when you press save, then the repricing will start. And then, so some of the general settings that are most commonly used, you can find them right here on the right-hand side under General. So when you click on the General settings, you can actually set many things in default. The first one I want to cover is the InventoryLab integration, because I know a lot of people use InventoryLab. And here you can actually, if you want to integrate the two of them, we're actually strategic partners with InventoryLab. You can press the on button here, and then you can log into InventoryLab, and you also turn on the integration settings too. And once both of the settings are turned on, BQool will start auto synchronizing the costs from the InventoryLab every 12 hours. And then you could actually pick, whether you want the highest cost from InventoryLab, or the average cost, or the latest cost. So you could also pick that option in there. So this is how you turn on the integration with InventoryLab. And then one of the common questions that we get asked a lot is, can I pause my repricing when my listing is out of stock? Maybe it's back ordered, maybe it's in transit. So the quantity is 0. Well, the answer is you can do that right here in the settings. You can do that automatically for you. You can turn it on here, and you can set based on 7 days and then up to 90 days. This is after the stock has been out of stock. Then it will pause the repricing for you. There's another option here, is that you can reset your price. If you want to keep the repricing on, you can reset your price, and you can reset it to your max or to min, or a certain percentage or dollar amount below that. And we would recommend you could set it at the max, because the listing might, some of your competitors might be out. They might be sold out. So when you come back in, you could be at a max price, and then it would reprice you down. Then there's some really cool settings here. And this is after you have done the first synchronization, and this is to auto synchronize new listings from Amazon into our Repricing Central. So here you have some different options that you can pick. You can set a default min price. And remember, you need to set a shipping price. So if it's FBA, then it would be 0. If it's FBM, then you might set, you either set that in Amazon, or you set it in the system. You average out how much it costs. Maybe you're sending it to a prep center, or you're going to set it directly to, you're doing the shipping directly yourself. And then here, you can do a certain percentage off. Our recommendation for you is, if you have a lot of similar products with similar profit margins, similar costs, then here you can set a fixed percentage. You could also set this by cost. You could have your cost plus a certain percentage, or also by a fixed price if you have all similar type of products. If you have different type of products, let's say you sell groceries, you're selling books, you're selling apparel, you sell automotive parts, for example, you sell lawn and patio, different type of products, then I would recommend you to set it up individually or by groups. So we actually have a bulk upload setting for the ROI, which I'm going to show you later. Then here you could set the max prices. And for the max price, again, you can turn that on and add a certain percentage. Remember right here, your price plus shipping, that is the price that you have set in Amazon when you first add the listing. Okay, so that's commonly people ask us, what is the price that you're setting the min price on? Well, it's the price that you initially have set on Amazon when it's pulling in the data. And then here, there's you can set a repricing rule as well automatically. So you can actually pick a repricing rule that you've already set up. There should be 5 default AI rules. If you're not sure at this stage, you could actually set it to the AI equalizer if you have a lot of AI listings. And then here is where you set the other different costs, and if there's any additional costs. And these costs will go into the profit calculator automatically. So once you have done this, you can press save. And then it would actually save these settings for any new listings that are coming in from Amazon. So let's go back into our training here. And we're going to go now and teach you how to set up your first listing. What are some things you need to set? When you're setting up your first listing, you will actually do this in the listing tab. And there are 5 AI rules. So I'm just going to share my screen with you. So this is where you're going to set up your first, if you want to set up your first listing for repricing. Here, there's the min price and also the max price. And then you can pick a rule. And then it's as simple as that. So I'm just going to quickly show you. Let's say I know I want to sell, the min price is $20 here. And then for the max price, I put at $60. And then I pick a rule. I just have to press save. And then you're going to see this repricing has been enabled. Okay, so that's where you can, that's how you could quickly set up your first listing, and you could already start repricing. Now, if you want to calculate what is the min price to set and what's the max price to set, then you could use a profit calculator. So you can actually put in the cost. So for example, for this camera case, if I had sourced this camera case, let's say from a wholesale, I'm getting it for maybe $8. I would put my costs in here. Then I go to the profit calculator here. So the profit calculator, it allows you to have your min price, and then it has the different product costs, and you can actually set the min price by an estimated profit, which is a dollar amount, or an ROI percentage. So maybe for all the products, you're looking to make at least a 25% ROI to make it worthwhile for you to sell. So you could put that here, 25%, and then you can press this reload button here. And then it would calculate the min price that you should set. And then you could press save. And this would actually save the min price for you. And then I go to the max price. Again, maybe I want to make at least 200%, up to a 200% ROI. So I just have to put that 200% here. I do the recalculation. And then I will get a dollar amount at $38.82. And notice that in the profit calculator, in the general settings, we had set these up earlier about the shipping costs, about the additional costs, and also that this also shows you the Amazon referral fee. So right here in the Amazon referral fee, we're synced with the Amazon API, so we're able to calculate a very accurate referral fee, and that would go into your cost as well. So the way to calculate your ROI is for estimated profit is you just take all of your costs, you add those together, and then what you're selling it for minus all of your costs, that will give you a dollar amount. For the ROI, it's the estimated profit divided by the product cost plus additional costs and all the other costs, and then you times that by 100. So that's how you can save. Now, a lot of people ask us, they ask us the question, how can I avoid being delisted? So that's a very common question we get. And then there's several ways for us to not get delisted. And then let me just go back to the slides to talk a little bit about that. The question we get asked is, what's the best formula for setting the mins and max? And, there's several different ways. First, we've done the ROI from the cost of goods sold, or also the estimated profit. And then what we recommend you to do is to use our competitor analysis tool. Yeah, so it's really simple here. And to prevent yourself from being delisted, here's some tips for you. So if you already have a min and max in Amazon, you got to make sure that price range is broader than the min and max that you set in BQool. So for example, if for this camera case, if I've set in Amazon, I've set between $10 and $25, then in BQool, the min price and the max price that I set must be with, even broader. It must be more narrow than the one I set in Amazon. This way, when I give the repricing back to Amazon, when I send the price report to Amazon, Amazon will actually will not delist my product because it's within the parameters. So that's one thing to pay attention to prevent potential pricing errors. And then you can also check the competitor analysis. And to find where the competitor analysis is, let me just show you on my screen here. You just have to go under Actions, and you can click on the competitor analysis. And then the competitor analysis, because this is a test account, so you're going to see the min price, your max price, all the different competitors, and also your price right now. And let's go back to the slides to take a look at the competitor analysis. So in the competitor analysis, you can see all the different competitors you have for the top 20 competitors. So here are the most competitive competitors. So if there's more than 20, then it would get the top 20 here. And then you could see where the buy box price is. If someone owns the buy box, you're going to see what the min price is that you've set. And then you could also see what the max price is. So for listings that you see that has a non-Amazon competitive price, then you probably need to set your max price within that. Because if you price higher than that, then Amazon will think that's not competitive. And they compare against other platforms like Walmart, like Target, and then your product might be delisted in that way. And then also you can see what the competitor is. Our recommendation is for you to set something that is quite competitive. Of course, depending on your cost of goods sold, of course, depending on your ROIs. And then you can have the min price, just a little bit below the buy box price. And then for the max price, you can set it at the highest max price that you can see of the competitor, because that means that Amazon has accepted that price and you're unlikely to get delisted when you put your product at that price. And then the other thing you can do other than that is you could also look at the historic price of the product that you're selling. So if you look at the historic prices, this is how you can do it. Let me just share with you my screen. Let's say I'm looking to I'm selling Dymo thermal printers. So I put Dymo thermal printers right into Amazon here, and then here this is the one that I'm looking at that I'm planning to sell. There's two ways, right? One is you can look at, of course, the Keepa charts to see what the Amazon historic low price and also the high price is, which will give you an idea of what you can sell it, the different ranges. And then you could also use our BQool product tracker tool as well. So you can click, you can download the Chrome extension, and then you can click on that. And then if you click on the big tracker, you're going to see a product research tab. And when you click on the product research tab, it would actually pull in all the listings for that. And it gives you a min price and also a max price. So if you price between these historic prices, you're unlikely to get delisted, and you know what these products are selling for. So that's another way to find the historic prices and then set your mins and max so that it will actually, Amazon will accept that. It will not delist you. Now, if you do get delisted, then you need to go to Amazon Seller Central. This is where you could find the listings. So I'm going to just share with you. If you go to the listing tab, and then under the delisted listings, you'll see all the listings have been delisted. You could change the price in there and then go to Amazon and reactivate that listing. So then it would start repricing with the new mins and max that you have set for it. So that's how you avoid being delisted, and you can find a good way to set the min and max. So let's go back to our slides here. And one of the questions that we got asked is, I have tried a few different repricers in the past, and I've really been screwed by them. The product, my items were sold, will undercut, and I lost money. So I don't know if there's something wrong because the instructions were clear enough or what. So I really like to get a good one. So the answer for you for that is, how do you avoid selling at a loss? Is you definitely set the correct mins and max. That's the first thing you do. You review the mins and max individually. So when you're pulling it in, if you set a certain percentage, it's good to check again. You could also review the repricing rules, which I'm going to cover later, to avoid your product to go back to the max or go to the min. And then one of the best things you could do is also use the AI repricer, because the AI repricer, after it captures the buy box, it would actually incrementally reprice up for you. So next, let's talk a little bit about the listings, where we're going to cover about some of the most commonly used filters, because a lot of people have questions about how to use filters, how to use groups. So I'm going to just go and share the screen with you. So to find filters on your account, make sure to go to the left-hand corner here for the favorite filters. Okay. We're just going to wait a little bit so the screen will appear. Yeah. If you're following along, go to the listing tab, click on the listing tab, and then it's going to bring you back to where all the listings are. Then go to the right-hand area where the favorite filters are. And if you also have questions, from before about the listings, about the general settings, about the profit calculator, you can actually add them into the Q&A right now. And then we're going to wait until the screen will reload so that everyone can see the screen. Yeah. So if you're following along, make sure to go to the favorite filters on the left-hand side of the screen. And that would be in the listing tab. Okay. Once I click on the favorite tab, you're going to see all of these different options here. And then what I would do is click on the little triangle. So when you click on the little triangle, these are the default filters that we've already preset for you. And the most popular one to use, you could definitely choose, there's 3 different ones. You could choose missing a min price, missing the max price, or missing a rule. And this would actually show you all the products that are not repricing right now, because it's missing those data. And then these are the ones you can work on. And then you can also filter here by quantity. So you want to make sure the products that you have a lot of quantity, you want to make sure they're on the repricing, so that you can actually get more sales for them, or you can get more profits. You could also filter here by the buy box percentage to see which ones are not winning the buy box. Those are the ones you want to work on. Then another very popular one that is very useful is competition below mean price. Okay, so I'm just going to go back into the screen to show you what that looks like after you click it. This shows you all the listings that the competitor have priced below you. So it means that your competition is not as competitive. Like the price that you're setting at right now, your min price is not that competitive. So we would review these listings. We would do this on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, because right now for those listings, you're not winning the buy box. You're not selling any products for those. So you can go through them and see which of those products that you might need to lower your min a little bit to become competitive. And you could go to the comparison, the competitor analysis to find the pricing. Then another option that you can do there is you could also find the listings that are at the max. And then so those are the listings that you are selling at your max price. And those are the listings that you can actually even increase the price. So again, go for those listings as well on a weekly basis to see if there's any possibility for you to increase the price so you could actually gain more profits. So these 2 filters, they're very useful, and we definitely recommend them. So when you're back in the screen, there's also these multi-variables that you can select here, okay? You can pick under the filters here, which ones are being enabled, which ones is paused. So that's an important filter to use. Another one is also the number of offers. So usually we would actually pick offers between 5 to 20. These, for the repricing rules, these will work the best for the repricing, for the AI repricing as well. I could also select, products that I'm not winning the buy box at. And you can, and one cool function here is also you can find your products. So maybe you're looking for shoes, and then you can actually filter out all the ones that have shoes. And you can also select also by the date created. And then another one is by the quantity as well. So these filters are quite useful. And these are multi variables. So you could actually select these, and then you can run and you can search for them. So these are some of the most commonly used filters that our clients they use. And next, I'm going to talk about the bulk upload feature here. So for the bulk upload, let's say you have a group of listings. Let's say I have found, maybe I'm looking all for camera cases. So I've used the filters. And one cool thing about the filters I did not mention to is you could actually save the filter as your favorite filter. So you don't have to select it again the next time. And then so you could use this filter next time very easily. So let's say, I'll just give you an example here. I'm going to find, the products that right now, that I'm using, let's say FBA fulfillment, and it has the word camera in there because I'm using the camera bag example. So there's a title place right here. You could actually add more camera, and then let's say I want to add case. So now I'm going to do a search here. And this will find all the listings that has camera case in there. So I want to select these. There's 56 listings for these. And I want to do a bulk setting for these. I want to bulk set the min. I want to bulk set the max. And also I want to set a rule for these. So I could just, select all. And one tip for you is you can find, you can go to settings, and under preference, you could select the number of results per page. So you could select up to 500. Okay, up to 500. And then our suggestion for you is to select 100 because it will give you the optimum speed using the software. But you could select up to 500 if you have a lot of listings here. Okay, now I'm going to select all 56 of these listings, all 56 of them. And then I'm going to go to the bulk actions. And then I'm going to select set, min, and max price plus rule. So I could apply all of these listings that I've selected, or I could also select a group. Actually, I can also group them as well. So here I can, again, press on, and then I can set that, let's say, to the min price. I want 20% of my price in Amazon plus shipping. And then I could also set the max price by a certain percentage that I would want. And then I can pick a rule here. So maybe I'll pick the AI equalizer. And then I press save. So then it will go into a bulk action, and it will start running. And then it goes into the order. The speed usually takes maybe 2 to 4 hours, depending on how many listings have you selected. Of course, the more listings you have, the longer it will take. If you selected 500, and then also the priority at that given time, how many people are using the software at that given time. If it doesn't all do the bulk settings, then let us know, and then we'll take a look for you. But then you should find that right here, and then you could close that right there. And then so then I have set all the mins and max automatically. Now this feature, again, this is for if you're on the $50 plan or above. It's exclusive for that. But if you're on the $25, you could still maybe add all of these to a group. If you want to do settings for those later on as a group. And you can also add this as a group. This is a cool feature to do as well. So this is how you do the bulk settings. You can also bulk set the cost for them as well if the costs are the same. Usually, it only depends if these are all very similar type of products and you got them for a similar price. That's when you would set the cost like this. Okay, so moving forward, we've covered a lot so far. Are you still with me? Yeah. We'll be covering the bulk upload right here. And then we're going to go to the Q&A session. So I want you to start thinking about the questions you have regarding the first sections we have, so you can ask those questions in the Q&A session. So next, we're going to go to the bulk upload. And for the bulk upload here, this is under the upload file. So you can actually go to the upload file tab. You can press on that, and then you can download a blank template. And then this way, it will download the Excel file here. I'm not going to go to the details for this because we have dedicated videos for this. But in the Excel file, there's certain places you need to put into the data. So that includes your marketplace. It includes a rule, also your min and max. And then you can download all of your listings here by clicking full template, which is in a text file. Here, I'll just quickly show you guys while you're here. So I'm going to now share screen with the Excel file here. Okay, I think for the time, we will skip this part, but you could paste your listings in a text file right into the Excel file, and then you could upload the file, and this will really save you a lot of time. And you could also upload, InventoryLab file if you want to get the min and max that you set there into the system as well. Yeah, so this is the upload part. Yeah, if you have more questions, you can ask me and I can show you a live demo. So now let's go into the Q&A, the first Q&A, and I'll be looking at some of the questions that you got asked there. All right, so let's go to the Q&A. Here's from Asaf, okay? And I'll answer the questions as best as I can, but we do have a wonderful support team that will get back to you with customized answers. So I have two questions. Sometimes the filters don't stay when I sort the screen. What is the solution for this? Okay, the first to answer this, for the default filters, those are default, so those would always be there for the default. For the other filters, then you need to save it as a favorite filter, and then this way you'll be able to have that filter saved, and the next time you use it, you can just quickly find it. And then this one is there a report that could be generated that suggests that our min price should be where price is not competitive? To do that is you can filter your listings by the competitors below mean, and then you can actually do that in the business reports as well. You can actually download reports in the business reports, which we'll cover as well. There's a report there that shows you, which in the business reports that I'm going to talk about later here. Okay, another question we have here, does the min price in BQool show the Amazon min price, or is that Amazon plus shipping? So this question comes talking about the general settings. Okay, so I'm just going to share with you where this question comes from. Okay, so this is in the general settings, and then this is asking, what this is asking is when you're pricing the min price here, what is it pricing of? It actually prices your price plus shipping when you first set it up in Amazon. Okay, so after you do this in the default, if you want to change that, then you could actually go to the bulk settings and you could set that min price. Again, that would be your current price that you've set it. So if you want to do that, so it's your price plus shipping, and that's the price that is on Amazon right now. Okay. Next, let's go back to the questions that we have here. Yeah, well, there's a lot of questions that people are asking here, which is fantastic. Okay, here, Ben asked the question here. I have 500 listings, primarily books, and I've repriced with BQool. But when I go to reports, I cannot find a simple way to find out which units is sold and what rules is used. Is there a place to find a report of what has sold and what rule, if any, was used? Okay, that's a great question. And a lot of people are asking, how do I compare the different rules? So we're going to be covering that in the business reports. In the business reports, you can download it. You could also look by listings. And then when you download the report, it would show you which AI rule, which rule is used, what was the buy box percentage of that. So that is actually in the business reports. So let's take a look at some more questions. Okay, this is a question that we get from, and this might be a question from Chinese seller or different, but it's is it possible to add another U.S. Amazon account to Reprice? So maybe you have more than one Amazon U.S. account. And then the second part of the question, can you add more marketplaces to the channel? Well, I'm going to answer these two questions. The first part is, can you add another U.S. Amazon account to your account, to your Repricing Central? And you might have different marketplace, different stores, Amazon stores. But Amazon endorses people to just have one store. But if you have more than one, then you can use a different email to apply for the Repricing Central. But you'll have two different accounts, and therefore you're going to be charged two different accounts, because an Amazon Seller Central, they want to make sure that your seller account is the same as your Amazon store, and Amazon condones that. Yeah, but if you do want to do that, then you would have a different email, and we'll recommend you to use different IPs when you're accessing your Amazon Seller Central account to prevent your account from being removed. And then can you add more marketplace? You could add up to 9 more different marketplaces for sure. And then if you use the European marketplace, 5 of them, they're covered, and those under one fee. And you can use those listings across your different marketplaces. You could do that in the accounts under subscription, and you could just press the upgrade button, and you could add more marketplaces to get all of that data in. Okay, let's take a look at some more, and we're going to have to continue here. This question is, if you need to change your selling price on Amazon, should you change it on BQool, or can you change it, or should you change it on Amazon Seller Central? So right here, your price plus shipping, right? Should you change it there, or should you change it on Amazon? Well, I'll show you an example. If I change it here, let's say I put 21, I want my price to be there, and I save it. Then it would actually pause my automated repricing. So it actually pause it. But if you change it on Amazon, it won't pause it. And we need to go what's behind the question, right? I think you want to have you want a more competitive price. So I think it's more important to set your mins and max to win the buy box, because your price in Amazon will quickly update. If you're on $25 plan, then that's 15 minutes. If you're on $100 plan, it's maybe around 5 minutes, as fast as Amazon allows. So your price plus shipping will quickly change. Yeah. So we would recommend you to change the price on Amazon Seller Central for that specific condition to pull in, and it's faster as well when you do that. Okay, let's look at one more question before we move on. And the question here is from Jeremy. And it says, is there a way to oscillate above the competitor's price once you're in the buy box? So you go back to the max price, or you oscillate a certain percentage, jump to your own max price rather than below the next seller's min. So they're trying to find the best way to compete. Okay, we're going to answer that in the repricing section. And there's, we have different rules, both for rule base and also for the AI, which will incrementally reprice up. So you're going to get a higher price. There's also, to answer that, you could also do a scheduler to reset your price manually to the max. So that will actually help you to do that as well. We're going to just show you how to do that here. From a past experience, if the sellers, is so we'll definitely answer that. Okay, let's move on to the repricing rules, because it seems like a lot of people are asking questions about that. So let's go into the next section here. Yeah, so thanks for listening and finding all the answers to that. Now, this is the section that's really exciting for a lot of people, because you do need to set a repricing rule before you can use. And then the place to set the repricing rule, I'm going to be sharing my screen with you again. Let's just go right into that. So in the repricing rule, if you could see the repricing rule section, you could go to add new rule. And that's how you add a new rule. This is in the repricing tab. And when you come in here, you're going to see AI powered and also rule base. If you're on the $25 plan, you will only have access to the AI, to the rule base rules. And then if you're on the $50, you'll have access to the AI powered rules, but you'll be able to see them. Everyone's going to be able to see them. And then here, when you're picking the rule here for the AI powered ones, it's based on sales or also on profits. You can pick the different the rule based on the sales. So on one end, on the sales maximizer, you actually maximize your sales, go aggressively for the buy box. So these would be more aggressive, the AI sales maximizer and the sales booster. And on the other end is a profit maximizer, where you're going to prioritize on getting higher profit per unit. And this is where you can pick. And then on the top hand here, we're going to go into an example. Let's say I select the sales booster, and I'm going to do, this is a test. Okay. I go to next. See, it's very simple. There's only 4 tabs you have to set for the repricing. And then here you can decide what to do when you have got the buy box. So if you're the only seller, you can not reprice, or you could actually reprice to your max. We could recommend that because there aren't many competitors for that. When your product is not buy box eligible, okay, then you might use the min price. And then when no one owns the buy box, this is when the buy box is suppressed. We have 5 different options. You can not reprice. You could go to the min price. We recommend you to use the min price plus a certain percentage, or also a dollar amount. And then when the condition is used, we also have an AI repricing algorithm designed for used products. So you could use the AI repricing for that. And when your product is back ordered, then we recommend you use the min price or do not reprice. Or you can also do a customized selection. And then what this is the adjusted price will not go below your min price. So you could see, whether you choose your min price, it's always add. So the AI repricer will not reprice you below your min price, and what will do it aggressively try to reprice you up. So let's go to the next setting, which is the schedule. And this is to answer the question somebody asked about using an oscillation type strategy about resetting to the max. And you could actually select the time period. And we recommend you could use this if you are competing. You want to reset manually your price up. So let's say I'm in the Pacific time zone. You can do your price plus a certain amount, or you can go to your max price in here. And then you can also enable the repricing again, maybe at another time. And it just sets it up to the max price for when there's very low traffic. And this will help you try to, in an attempt to manually reset your price up. And then you could do a rule overview, just take a look at everything, and then save and finish. And then you are going to have your rule. And that will appear in your repricing rules here that you can select. And then you could add that to your listing. And you could apply that. You could apply that to a lot of your listings. And how do you apply that to your listing? You just need to go back to the listing section. And then you could select that. And then you can set the rule there. You could do the rule setting right there. You could also do a bulk action to set the rule for all of those listings right here as well. Okay, so once you set up a rule, you could apply it across. Now let's go back to the repricing rules, because a lot of people have different questions about that. So I'm going to share my slides here again. So the question that we got is, how do I keep my price over the Amazon price using a percentage? Well, you can set a custom rule. And this is where you could do this in a rule base. But if you want to win the buy box, even against Amazon, then we actually recommend you to use a more aggressive AI repricing rule. So let's go back into the rule settings here. So I'm going to add another new rule, and I'm just going to show you how to find that. And this is under the rule-based. And you can see that the main difference between the rule-based and the AI is under rule-based, you can compete specifically against different competitors, whereas the AI will take all those competitors in account, and it'll help you get the buy box between the min and max, and it'll quickly grab the buy box for you. Here you have to manually set some behavior, and then it's iterations. So if I wanted to compete directly only against Amazon, I'm just going to pick any of these rules. Typically, these two are more aggressive. These two target the lowest price, target the lowest FBA price, and these three, they're more for your profits. They're going to raise your price more if you pick these preset ones. You could also use the custom rule as well. So I'm just going to use this as an example. Let's say you target the lowest price. Go to next. And then this will bring me to the competitors. And here I would just, let's say I'm just competing against Amazon. I could choose a competitor of Amazon. I can, pick the lowest price or the buy box price here. And then here I'll leave them as a default. This is a seller fulfilled prime offer, but I'm just competing specifically against Amazon. I could also exclude specific sellers if I don't want to compete against a specific seller ID. I can do that as well. This would be if there's a big wholesale account or a branded company that you want to exclude. And then here you can also exclude sellers with a back order. This option right here is you could also pick the competitors. Maybe you don't want to compete with them that have lower than an 80% because they're very unlikely to get the buy box. You could also exclude sellers with a feedback lower than 0 as well. And then I'm going to go to next. Now, this is when you got the buy box. So in the AI, it would automatically continue to hold the buy box depending on which AI rule you do. And it would actually incrementally try to reprice. Here, you need to set this for the rule base yourself. So the first one, competition found between min and max. So this first one is, let's say when the competition is above the min price, then this is above your min price. Then you have different options you can choose. You can go by the competitor price and go down by penny. When the competition is, so if this is Amazon, it would take Amazon's price and go by a penny down to your minimum price. It's not going to go below your min price. And then this second one is when competition is below min price, use auto compete. And this means that when the competition, let's say your min price is at $5 and the competition min price is at $3, then it will not, your $5 and maybe you will not compete with them here. If you use auto compete, it would compete with the next seller that is below you. You'll not be competing based on their min price. You could also customize and you can choose what you want. And then this is when competitor equals min price. You can also set the settings of what you want to do. Now, there's some other options here as well. When the competition's outside of the min and max, when there's no competition, you can also pick. And here is, let's say if you're going specifically against Amazon, let's say your FBM versus Amazon, you go on, you can turn this on, and then you can also set when the competition is above min price, you want to minus or plus a certain percentage, maybe 5% or maybe by a dollar amount. Here, when the competition is below min price, you can use your auto compete min price. Again, you can customize your price as well. You can go to your min price plus a certain percentage. And then when competition equals to min price, what happens? Now, something for your information is the adjusted price is equal or is below the min price. Okay, so it means that it safeguards you. You're not going to go below your min price, even when you're competing against Amazon, but you're very likely going to have to compete very aggressively. So that's why we actually would recommend you to use the AI repricing using the aggressive rules, because then you're more likely to know what the Amazon price is because it profiles them. And then you're able to get the buy box a lot quicker rather than using these manual resets. And here, this is for rule base. Again, this is when you stay in the buy box. Again, you can choose the competition of what you want to do. You can lower or raise your buy box price within a certain amount or certain percentage as well. So we've seen a lot of people. And the last option here is you can also have a price change safety net. And this is so that you don't reprice down really quickly. But what we recommend is if you set the min and max price correctly, then you shouldn't really worry about that because you already know what your min price is. This is just preventing the price from tanking. So, these are the different settings that you can use for the rule base. Let's go back to our training here. In the next section, I'm going to explain to you a little bit about the AI repricer, like how does it work, how's it different. Our AI repricer, it has a centralized learning model plus an account-based learning model. So we take in consideration all of these factors about the buy box, about the competitors, also whether it's seller fulfillment prime, and then we built our AI model on that. And then we'll actually have a specific account-based learning model where we're learning from the specific ASIN. We learn the competitor's behavior. If there's a new competitor that enters, we'll learn their behavior. We'll learn how they're pricing. And then we'll have a repricing engine that will either reprice up or lower your price depending between your mins and max, and then to aggressively get the buy box. And then once we get the buy box, we'll start incrementally repricing up. So the main difference between the AI-powered against the rule-based that you've seen earlier is, first, the setup is a lot simpler and quicker for AI. There's only 4 different options. When there's new competitors that enter, it will automatically compete with them. And there's a machine learning algorithm, and there's a lot less human interaction. So it's less prone to make mistakes because the AI has taken all the factors in there. It also accelerate the buy box win percentage to boost the percentage of the buy box win. For the rule base, it's good if you want to exclude a specific type of competitor. But in our experience, the AI will actually take into case all the competitors, and it'll help you get the optimum price to win the buy box, and then it'll start raising the price for you and incrementally. So, there's 5 key benefits of the AI repricer. When you basically, first, it helps you maximize the sales. So you aggressively seize the buy box. Then it'll also maximize your profits through incremental repricing. And then it raises the buy box price, and it's much more competitive because the AI learning, it has algorithms that continue to learn for a seller's unique ASIN environment. It will reprice a lot more often. Finally, it's a much faster to set up and more simple. For the rule base, you really need to tweak all the settings, and it might be different for different type of products that you're selling. So for the AI, it takes in consideration all of this data. And then, we're going to share with you, how do you pick what's the AI rule that you should choose. Basically, first, you want to see whether your goal is, for higher sales volume or higher profit per unit. So let's say I trying to sell some toys for Christmas, and then I know that these toys are going to sell really well in Q4. So I might prioritize my profit more than my sales. And then I'll put it onto maybe a profit booster or a profit maximizer if this is going to be a hot product. This has a good bestseller rank. And then this product, it would sell at a higher per unit profit. Then I would keep my products, and then it would slowly sell off my products, but it's going to be selling out at a higher profit. Now, at the other spectrum, you might have a product that you need to liquidate. So maybe it's something that's out of fashion. It's a very seasonal product. Maybe it's already past Halloween, and you need to get rid of those products quickly because they're only for Halloween. Then you might put that to the AI sales maximizer or the AI sales booster to sell off. So you need to also decide whether this product is hot or not. And the way to check whether this product is hot or not is you can go to your Seller Central to check the FBA sell-through rate. So you can find that in the inventory planning. In the inventory, you'll be able to find the sell-through rate from 0 and then above 7. So if it's below 2, then we recommend you that this product is not very hot right now. Of course, you got to check if the product will pick up later. But if it's not a hot selling product, it's under a 2, then maybe it's time for you to sell that product off so you have other opportunities. Also, you need to decide how long you want to hold a good for. Maybe you have a business operation model. Maybe you hold it for 6 months, and then the long-term storage fees are going to kick in, and it's going to become less profitable for you to sell. So then as it reaches that point, you might move it to the AI sales booster or the AI sales maximizer to get rid of that stock. This is how you can pick which AI rule to use. And then the next question is, this is a question we got, is what's the best setting to have a big profit without compromising the sales? Well, the best way is the AI equalizer. It places an equal weight on sales and profits. And usually it depends on what your goal is, whether it's to get the buy box or a quick sales. But this balances out. So this question is a good question that people ask. Another question that we get asked is, what is the best AI setting for getting the buy box? And then for this one, it's definitely the sales maximizer because it's going to aggressively go for the buy box. And this will actually usually keep your prices extremely competitive, closer to your min when you pick this rule. If you're not sure to start, we would suggest you use the AI equalizer, and then you could adjust from that. And then this question, I've answered it. Is it possible to specify the type of competitors in AI? Well, the AI will learn all of the competitors on here. And from our past experience, it does take the full environment into consideration. It will actually give you a much better repricing result. So the last module that we're going to cover before we go into the Q&A session is the business reports. And to find the business reports, it's in the report section there. And then you can go into the report section. I'm just going to show you on my screen here as well. For your account, it will start populating once you have sales, once you have different profits. And the important one to watch out for is the buy box percentage win rate. You could also find the listings that are below main, and this is where the competitors are below main. You can choose by week, also by month, and then you can choose a period of up to 2 years as well. And then earlier somebody asked, let me go back to the screen to show you in an example, so it's easier for you to understand with an example here. If you look on this screen here, and here you're going to find your sales, and then the number of units that were ordered, the average sales per order, and the estimated profits. So the way to use the business reports is, you can see the difference after you change the majority of your rules from rule base to AI, and you can see the difference between the buy box win percentage. You can see the growth in that. If the number for below mean percentage is high, is very high, then you need to go check to see whether or not you need to do the lower your min price as well. And then let's go into another question that people are asking. You can also download the report here for further analysis. You can actually download the report. So let's go to the next slide here. The question is, how do you compare between rule-based and AI-based rules performance? Well, you can compare the price history of the listing before you set the AI rule and after you set the AI rule or other rule that you're setting. And to do that, you just need to go to find the price history of the listing. We actually have a tab here. Let me just show you where that is in the software as well. So this is the tab here, price history. If you click on this tab, price history, you can search by a specific ASIN, by different ASIN that you want to look for, and then it's going to find that ASIN and the repricing activities. And let me just go through the price history so you can understand it a little bit better in the slide here. So when you look at the slide, you can see here is the ASIN, and then the seller SKU, and here's the seller ID, and then here's the repricing rule that you're using. And then right here, when you see all of these that are increasing, this is when you hold the buy box and you're increasing the price. If you see something that it went down, is you're going lower to an attempt to get the buy box. You'll see what type of seller type you're competing with here as well. Yeah, so you can actually download this and then in the reports, and you can compare. And then here you can find the specific ASIN under business reports here. So how do you access that, right? Again, I'm going to share my screen, and I can find under the business reports here, there's a listing performance. Okay, once I click on the listing performance, I can look at the SKU. I can download them. Somebody asked a question about this. It would show you the buy box win percentage, and then you could actually add different parameters here. We're going to be doing an update for this feature to improve this for you, so be on the lookout for that. So this is how you can analyze whether when you change a different rule, how does the ASIN performs? Do you have a higher buy box win percentage? Okay, let's go to the last section that we have here for today, and then we'll be taking some questions quickly. Yeah. Okay, so here's some questions that was asked. The question here again is, what is the best setting to stay in the buy box without losing profit for shoes? So I think this is a very general question about selling shoes. So it really depends on what type of shoes you're selling. If the market is hot and there's a lot of demand for your shoes and the competitors, you can consider pricing between the lowest and highest sold price in your size. And you could use the AI equalizer. So it's a hot product. There's a lot of competitors in here, and then you want to make money, use AI equalizer. And then if the market is slow, so the demand is slow and there isn't a lot of competitors for your listing, you can price at your min. You can price your min at the lowest sold listing before, at a profit that you're comfortable taking. And then one thing to note is if you have the last size available, both in the slow market or the hot market, then you could initially price at the highest last sold price, and then you could use our AI rules to help you to get a higher profit. So we recommend using the AI profit maximizer or the profit booster at the start. Yeah, so you could definitely use that. It would help you increase your buy box win percentage, and once you win the buy box, it'll incrementally increase your profits when you're in the buy box. And then another question that we get asked is, how do you effectively set up the repricing rules for both FBA and FBM products? And this question is about selling books and also groceries. So for books, I'm going to just give you some general guidelines. Like for books, like if it's a used book, we actually developed a separate algorithm that prices according to the condition of the book. And it would first go for the top 20, because usually for used books, there's a lot of different sellers for some of the used books. You could also check the used books, whether it's seasonal or not, to set the mins and max. And then if you know that this book, the price is gonna tank soon, maybe it's a textbook, then you could put that to a more aggressive AI rule. For example, like the AI sales booster. And then for used books, there's definitely we have an algorithm that helps you to get the used books, and this is very unique because if you use rule based, if you're already outside of the top 20, then you're not going to be repricing. So that's why it's very important to use the AI repricer for the used books, and we have a lot of people who use that. For groceries, it really depends on the product. If the product is close to expiring, then we would recommend you to use a sales maximizer. There's also many groceries that are on replans. We would suggest you to set it maybe by estimated profit. So let's say you are selling some Skittles, for example, some candy, and you've got it for 99 cents. Then maybe you want to sell it, the whole package, maybe for $4. So then you can do the estimated profit and you can put that in there. And usually you can expect lower margins, but faster moving. So you might put that on AI equalizer and you can adjust it to a sales booster if you want to get that more turnover. And so that's our recommendation if you're selling groceries. These are the different rules that you could use. And then we're going to just close off here with some of the repricing results that we've seen. So for the repricing results, you can see on my screen here, this is someone who, a very experienced seller, and there's over 12 different competitors here. And for the competitors, you can see that there's a lot of them are FBM, and then there's also a FBA above here. When you look on this, you can see that the product is priced at $197.49. So there's actually 2 FBMs below us. We're actually pricing higher than that using the AI repricer. And the AI will determine if you don't go below the FBM offer, they don't have to price below them. And then there's a FBA seller that is above us with a much better feedback at 99%, and also with 5,000 reviews. But the AI has figured out that it can use just 1 cent below to win the buy box. And that's why we're able to win the buy box at $197.49. And you could just see how it works here in the price history. First, in the price history, you're going to see that, we're getting attacked. So we're getting attacked by the competitors. So we have to lower our price to continue to hold on to the buy box. Then once we hold on to the buy box, it starts to increase and increase. And you can see that, the seller ID, this is evidence of the competitor profiling. So our AI repricer knows what's the best price to win the buy box. And then once it captures it, it starts to raise the buy box price. So as a result, after just using this for a week, the buy box win percentage has increased by 10%. And by raising it by 10%, imagine you have, maybe he's selling 50 books, 100 books. And by increasing the buy box, you're going to be increasing a lot of your profits as well. And then here's another example where, this is a new product. And this, initially, this person has priced his product at $24.99 and the buy box is at $22.36. And there's over 20 competitors. So it's very competitive. And after they turn on the AI repricer, what happens? Boom, it goes in for the buy box. It goes right in, goes at $22.61, gets the buy box, and it starts raising the buy box price and while holding the buy box. So you can see that it beats out 4 different FBM sellers and 1 FBA seller who have lower prices than they do. So it's able to keep it at a certain price to maximize the profit. And as a result, in just over a few days, it increased the buy box win percentage by 17% after they started using the AI repricer. It takes the data, and in our data, on average, we're actually able to help customers who switch over to the AI rule by 12 to 20% for customers who use solely the AI compared to rule-based or algorithmic other repricers. This goes to our second Q&A session. I'm going to be looking at some of the questions that the customers are asking here. Okay, let's take a look here. Are there scenarios that are better to use the rule-based repricing strategy versus using only the AI repricing? I'm currently using only the AI, which is working well. We answered this a little bit, and if you want to exclude specific competitors or only want to compete a certain type of competitors, sellers, in these scenarios, we'll recommend you to use the rule base. If you don't have a lot of new competitors coming in, and then it's always the same type of competitors, then you could use a rule base and you could actually work on the settings. But in most cases, we recommend you to use the AI repricer because we've done the hard work for you, and your goal is to win the buy box. So you could pick a rule that's more focused, that helps you earn more profits as well. Okay, so let's see if there's other questions as well here. The next question is, how is BQool different from other AI repricers? BQool's been in business for more than 10 years. So we're actually the pioneers in this industry. And we have the true AI, which means we have machine learning. So we've built it, taking all the data we have, and we have teams of AI engineers. So we have 5 different AI repricing rules. And we also offer a risk-free 14-day free trial, which you can actually try out our AI. And we're the most affordable AI repricer for you.